You know what? This morning I'm a little bit frustrated because my plan was to wake up and actually talk about the Best Buy leak and sort of dig into the fact that it seems like we could be getting a Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on Nintendo Switch along with stuff like Persona. But instead, I'm actually going to have to rip into BioWare one last time. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and it seems like this is the dumpster fire that just doesn't stop burning. So if you didn't see my video yesterday, I actually did a giant expose talking about the fact that there have been so many giant reveals as to what exactly happened with Anthem. It sounds like this project from the very start was just beset by crazy amounts of drama. Internally, nobody could actually just have one set vision. Nobody managed to just set up an idea and follow through on it, which is why the final game is such a confusing hobcob of different plans that never come to fruition. Well, it seems like BioWare themselves read that article and actually became very upset, so they decided to publish an official response. Now, I actually don't want to read all of it because most of it is just pure lies. I mean, it's just fluff about, hey guys, we really appreciate our fan base, and hey, this is all about, supporting people, because it ends with a giant FU to anybody who talks bad about BioWare. Now, this includes valid criticism. They're basically saying, if you try and critique us, you are the enemy, which, in my opinion, is a very stupid frame of mind to have, especially if you're somebody who currently needs some very valid feedback. BioWare, you're going downhill, and if people say, hey, make these corrections to improve your next game, they are not attacking you. There is only one section of this response that I actually want to read because it's the one part of this that seems like it's, well, in my opinion, the most baffling section. And it goes like this. Hey there, this is BioWare. As a studio and as a team, we accept all criticisms that come our way for the games that we make, especially from our players. The creative process is often difficult. The struggles and challenges of making video games are very real, but the reward of putting something that we created in the hands of our players is amazing. People in this industry put so much passion and energy into making something fun. We don't see the value in tearing it down one another or another's work. We don't believe articles that do this are making our industry and craft better. Let me tell you something, BioWare. When somebody tries to expose the flaws of your company, it's not them trying to rip into you. It is them saying, hey, be better. If you want to try and make better games, if you want to try and take your company in a better direction, you need to realize your own faults. I'll actually say that as somebody who just runs a YouTube channel, which is about a millionth easier, I mean, seriously, what you guys are doing is way more difficult than what I'm doing. I'm very aware of that. But I have to be very aware of feedback. I have to be very clear-minded when I'm receiving criticism. If you end up trying to just shut yourself off and build a humongous fortress, it is you who will suffer. Now, the part of this that really frustrates me the most is that it's very clearly BioWare saying, don't trust the media, they're evil. Well, let me tell you, YouTubers are not trying to attack you. People who are just reporting on this are not trying to attack you. Even if you don't like somebody like Polygon, when Polygon leaks a giant story that ends up shedding a bunch of light on a controversial project, that is important. More information is good information. I also think that, and this is my genuine point of view, this article is going to end up causing a huge change throughout the entire industry because it's showing the fact that everybody has a voice. A lot of times, from what I hear, the people that are way low on the ladder at a bunch of these different development studios, they have almost no vote, almost no say. You're basically just given a project and told, do this until it's done and I don't care what you think. And to me, this is a very toxic frame of mind. You need to be able to be open-minded enough to realize what's good and bad. It's just so crazy to me that BioWare would actually get a 5,000-word essay handed to them that says, hey, here are all the problems with the Frostbite engine and trying to shift developmental teams around and how can we try and fix this game? And then instead of actually taking this as a way to grow and improve, they said, hey, Screw those guys. BioWare, look, I'm not telling you how to do your jobs. I'm saying that at this point, I don't think you know how to do your jobs. If you are not able to completely master Dragon Age 4, it's going to be bad. I mean, let's just say that that's supposedly their next big project, and right now, you guys are this close to the bandsaw. You are going to get cut in half in your effort to try and fight everybody around you. Personally, my biggest concern in this whole kerfuffle is just the fact that I want BioWare to improve, but also I do sort of fear about the idea that a lot of these gaming companies lately are becoming extra defensive. They're constantly trying to put up these giant walls to protect themselves, and when this happens, everybody loses. So in general, what's really different about the gaming industry, about any other sort of entertainment media, is everybody else is very open. When somebody's writing a book, they talk about it. When somebody's writing an album, they talk about it. When people are starting to really dig into a movie, they talk about stuff when they start filming, they tell you the dates in which they started doing special effects. Video games are very unique in that the people who create them in each of the studios are ultra secretive. A lot of times they don't even talk about a game until it's nearly finished. Now, this is good because it means we don't get a bunch of tiny projects mentioned too early on, but I do find it strange that, if anything, games are about to become even more locked down. I mean, you'll probably not start seeing games or even a trailer until sometimes 2 months before they come out. I mean, look at the way they're handling the whole mess with Borderlands 3. Now, personally, I am extremely excited for that game, but a lot of people seem to be honestly confused by it because they can't tell what's different. We haven't had a lot of big details released on it. We haven't heard about the developmental cycle, so because of it, you just see this mysterious trailer appear that talks about a game that's coming out in 3 months. Now people are sort of sitting here scratching their head and saying, how is Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 different games when they look identical? And I think that really, if these companies start to become even more defensive or even more paranoid, if I can use that word, I think that they're going to really start trying to raise their ranks. I think they're going to start firing anybody who leaks anything. I think they're going to start being ultra secretive, and we're just not going to know anything about any game, which kind of frustrates me because I think that's part of the fun of the video game industry is the hype cycle, is talking about games before they're released, is going to pour over all sorts of different interviews. In a world where nobody ever talks to gaming media or YouTubers or even gamers, that seems like a very quiet future, and stuff like this makes me think that, if anything, a lot of these studios prefer that. A lot of studios, if they could, would never say a single peep and then be shocked when their games don't sell. My final thoughts on this really just boil down to the fact that I feel like BioWare is very paranoid right now because, honestly, they probably realize that they're very close to being closed down. I mean, if you make this many big mistakes back to back, you're setting yourself up for a very rude awakening. And at this point, it seems like almost nothing can save them unless their next project is a giant, ultra good, ultra well thought out success, which it doesn't seem like it can be. A freaking company that is this big and this rich that absolutely refuses to listen to valid criticism, even when it's coming from a place of love, is a dangerous beast. BioWare, read the Jason Schreier article. It is not attacking you. It is literally your own people stepping forward and saying, I had no idea what Anthem was trying to be, and now it seems like you guys are paying the price. But what do you think about this? Have you gotten a chance to look at all this mess, and are you just shocked that BioWare, the creators of some of the best freaking RPGs ever, the creators of stuff like Baldur's Gate and Mass Effect, is now such a paltry shell themselves? Well, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below, because this is not an open and shut case. This is a winding road, and something that I think will have more developments in the future. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I was honestly going to break out Doug Money for a big long skit, but honestly, this entire situation is so bad in my opinion, and quite frankly very toxic, that I didn't want to stir in any humor. Honestly, this is probably going to cause a lot of different ripples throughout the gaming industry for many years to come. Anthem is a project that's going to end up screwing a lot of people, and not just BioWare employees. But either way, I guess we're all about to find out what really happens in the situation with repercussions like this. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.